Alright, let's continue working on the back here. We still have some more things to do. Okay, I'm going to go into the Explorer view here, and my rear panel, this is a good thing while you want to rename things. I'm going to unhide it and bring it back out. It's basically this flat polygon piece of geometry. And right now it doesn't cover up the hole here properly, so I'm going to make some minor adjustments to it. I'm going to come over here to my back view, and I'm going to take this polygon here, and I'm going to scale it up. Like so. I'm going to look at the bottom. Bottom looks pretty good. Let me just pull it up a little. Actually, no, it's just adjusting it, trying to make sure that covers up this hole. I'm going to turn off my grid. Makes it easier to see here. And I'm moving this to about right there. Looks pretty good. So now it covers up the hole pretty good. If we look at the back, we need to model all this stuff, all these details, this area here, all this stuff. So looking at this, you might think, wow, that's pretty overwhelming. That's a sick amount of detail. How in the world are we even going to begin to approach that, let alone get it done? Well, if you allow this to overwhelm you and you start thinking this is really complicated, then it's going to be really complicated and it will overwhelm you. So what you need to do is you need to break this down in your mind, in your 3D eye. You need to kind of break this down to basics and try to simplify it. So this is how I'm going to approach this. I'm going to approach this in parts. Basically, I'm going to look at this as a 4-part task. I'm going to model part 1, or you could say this is one part up here. So let's just call this part 1. This area up here with this fan, this vent, and this power plug, etc., and all these little screws and rivets and things like that. Part 2 will be this centerpiece over here. Basically this area where you would basically add extra like sound cards, video cards, things like that to your computer, with this little vent piece over here on the left. Part 3 can be this area over here with these holes that have this kind of honeycomb pattern to them. And then part 4 can be this area over here with all these little plugs and ports for USBs, for Ethernet, to hook up your monitor, your DVI port. You got more headphone jacks back here and things like that. So that's how I'm going to approach this to make it easier for my mind to wrap itself around this task that I need to complete. So I'm going to start off with this part down here where the headphone jacks are, basically this big rectangular area with USB ports and all this stuff. That's what I'm going to start off with. I'm going to take the edge on the left over here and the one on the right and do a subdivide evenly. I'm going to move this edge over here to the top right there. And then what I'm going to do is probably just take this polygon, use the knife tool since it's a little bit faster to use. I'm going to make a cut right here and probably another cut over there. And there we go. Now I have this polygon set up right here where I can start to make my cuts and chip away and work on this area here. So very quickly, I'm going to use the knife tool with this polygon selected. I'm going to start to make cuts. I'm going to make a cut just above where the headphone jacks are and also for the bottom. I'm going to take that polygon that I've created there. I'm going to make some more cuts with the knife tool here and there. Okay. Then I'm going to take that polygon and I'm going to break it up. Basically subdivide this thing. So I'm going to take the edge on the left and right. I'm going to go to subdivide evenly down the middle. Then I'm going to take all 3 of these edges right there. And I'm going to subdivide these and give this 3 subdivisions so that basically what we end up with is an area with 6 individual polygons that are together. Okay? And that's where my headphone jacks are going to go. Now down here, I'm going to select this polygon and I'm going to make a cut right about here and then right down there for my DVI port and my VGA plug right there. Then I'm going to come down here, select this polygon down here, still use the knife tool. I'm going to make a cut here for USB ports, one down there. I'm going to make another cut about halfway from the USB port and this little optical port, and another one about halfway there, and another one about halfway there, I guess. Will work out pretty good. Okay, and what also helps here is to bring in some reference, visual reference here. So here I have a zoom in picture of this area here for the USB ports. You can see here what it looks like. Here's all the ports and things. This close-up really does help a lot. So I'm going to come in here, and this area is pretty good. This area is good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this part here with the USB ports, as well as this polygon, and this polygon that has USB ports. I'm going to use the knife tool. I'm going to make a cut about right there to kind of siphon that off, or cut it off from the rest. I'll probably make another cut about here on the opposite side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these edges here and these two edges there, and I'm going to subdivide this evenly down the middle. Now what I end up with is basically one polygon for each USB port. See that? Now down here for this guy, which is the little optical port down here, what I'm going to do is take this edge, I'm going to delete it. I'm going to take this polygon here, I'm going to use the cut tool, and I'm going to make a cut on the top and bottom of where that little optical port is supposed to be. Let me show you what that is. That optical port is this guy right here. See this guy? That's what I'm working on right now. So when I do that, all I need to do is take, say, these two edges, or you know what, even better, I'll take this polygon and use the knife tool since it's faster. And I'll make a couple of cuts here to make that little square area where the optical port's going to go. Basically that polygon right there. Okay. So I'm just cutting this stuff up, getting it ready. I'm not going to worry about the Ethernet port for now. I'll work on that later. We also have a Firewire port over here. What I'm going to do here for the Firewire port is, let me see. I'm going to make a cut somewhere over here. Really doesn't matter where. Just as long as I have this rectangle right there is good. So everything looks pretty good. Alright, so I've prepared my geometry there. So now I have all this geometry here that I can use to basically start to flesh this stuff out and detail it further. So I'm going to stop this video here. Let me freeze modeling on that. And in the next video, we'll start to apply our headphone jacks, USB ports, things like that, and just continue chipping away at this.